Everybody has their own lane. I will be better off if I just celebrate other people's wins and like be inspired by that and like go as hard as I can in my own lane.
Oh God, you got me in the chokehold going numb. It's like you take my tongue and tie it up. Guess it's how it is when you're dumb in love, dumb in love. Hot damn.
Welcome everybody to Nashville Drummers Podcast, episode 62.
Today we're excited to welcome Aaron Chase to the show. Many of you may know Aaron as the drummer for the band Lost Stars. Aaron is a really good friend, someone that I had known and met previously. We've gotten coffee before, but I really didn't know his entire journey. It was just really awesome hearing what he's up to, both his journey as a session drummer and putting out content, his mindsets around social media, especially as we are in the midst of 2025. TikTok is now back.
Yes, it is. It was gone for all of 15 hours, and everyone lost their minds. That's okay.
You've seen the SpongeBob meme about that?
No.
Wait, I'll show it to you.
You've seen something I haven't seen? Oh my God.
We talk about touring and recording, what it's like being in an indie band, his thoughts on community. He's doing these really cool events called Musicians Should Hang Out at different coffee shops around town. So stay tuned as he puts those on. We'll help promote those.
Yeah, for me, it was my first time meeting Aaron, and some of these podcasts are, one of my favorite things is walking into a podcast and really not knowing next to anything about the guest and getting to learn their whole story. That's always a treat for me. And the dude is a complete sweetheart, and I love talking to him. And he was even a little, maybe after the fact, he was like, oh, nervous that he wasn't. What did he say? He's like, was this good? Or,
did I get podcast?
Well, like, dude, this is great. I really loved this. So
yeah, no, he's like you said, total sweetheart. I really appreciated him opening up about some important topics, personal topics about mental health, his experience dealing with anxiety and depression. I think something that is, very relatable for a lot of us. So we hope you enjoy.
Madison maybe even more so, because there's some really great spots there, and then you can really get shot. You can really fucking
what a way
get
to
shot.
open up the conversation.
Yeah.
So
I had friends move into Madison and then move out like a month later because
No
a
way.
bullet entered their home, not aimed at them at all.
I'll say we heard one, in the 2 years we lived there, we heard one gunshot in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
But within proximity, I'm sure, there's more going on.
There's like I said, there are nice spots and there are non-nice spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the case with mostly anywhere.
Yeah.
But maybe not Franklin. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Aaron Chase, welcome to the Nashville Drummers Podcast.
Hey, I'm going to cheers this guy.
Sorry, I don't
imaginary
have one.
cheers.
Knuckles.
Cheers. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
There we go.
Succulent. There we go.
That works.
Is that a succulent? Is that what that is?
It's.
I mean, it's not real,
it's
is it?
Fake as all hell.
Okay.
Dude, I'm pumped to be hanging with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gotten coffee a few times.
Yeah.
You've been a long-time supporter of the show, so I
Yes.
appreciate you. Appreciate listening, and great to finally have you on.
Yeah, man. I did a little homework this week, getting caught up on some episodes, listening to Christians and Joel's.
Cool.
Two great
Yeah.
ones.
Dude,
They're all
two
great.
great ones.
Yeah, those guys are just heavy hitters, both very
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I randomly played a gig with Christian up in Chicago, maybe before he moved here, or he maybe already moved here, but it's been cool to see his path, like especially with the Knox crew.
Yeah.
But he's been crushing it for years.
Dude, yeah,
like he
100%.
was a killer player when we opened for them, and he crushed it.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Was that with? We'll get into different gigs you've had.
Yeah.
Moving here, were you with Lost Stars on that? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That gig was with Lost Stars.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, I kind of want to just jump to something current, and we can kind of work our way back. Because
Yeah.
you brought the coffee, which is
Yes.
so cool. Yeah, maybe explain what you even brought. But I want to talk about, because you've been starting, for people that don't follow Aaron, definitely check him out on the socials. But you've been starting kind of quietly, behind the scenes, doing these cool musician coffee hangs.
Oh,
which
thanks,
I regret
man.
I haven't been able to come to. I've been a little bit
Yeah.
far away from me, but I think it's just so cool what you're doing for the community, and it's not just for drummers, right?
Yeah. It's called Musicians Should Hang Out.
Yeah, right. You got the should. Like,
yeah.
I like that.
in there.
The very first week I called it musicians hangout.
Yeah.
And I went through this dilemma in my mind of like being grammatically correct. I was like, there should be an apostrophe in there, but if there's not, okay, if I put the word should, I'm good. But yeah, man, it's been fun so far. It's definitely in the baby stages. I just wanted to start something to like make community and get all the people that I want to interact with to try to come together. Yeah, we haven't had like crazy turnouts or anything, but I'm hoping this year to really like drive it and get people together. And just the whole point of it too is like, you know, to connect people with different needs that they have. Like if a songwriter needs a producer, well, maybe they met their new producer at like the coffee hang,
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. So where have you been hosting these so far?
So yeah, it's still kind of in the proof of concept stage, I guess. But the first one was at Bradley Mountain Coffee.
Yeah, that place that's what I wanted to go to,
Yeah.
but it's just a little bit far.
Yeah.
That place looks so cool.
It's in Columbia. Like
Have you heard of this?
No.
I'll have to show you. I mean, it's like, describe it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just a coffee shop.
Bradley Mountain is first a leather working shop. They make jackets, shirts, vests, like tools, all this random stuff. And then they happen to have one of the best coffee shops in Tennessee.
Leatherworking and tool making and great coffee.
Yeah.
That is the sickest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty dope. So we did one there. And the other problem I've had to figure out is like, well, guys like Dan can't always come down to Columbia on like a Wednesday morning or whatever.
Right.
So the second one was in Brentwood.
Yeah, that's easier for me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next one for this month, I'm thinking
It
of
should all be about me, essentially.
Yes.
Wherever Dan can make it.
dude, we can do it on your street, man. We'll just show up.
Perfect. All right. Yeah.
We'll do it in your place.
I mean, I live across from Living Waters.
Oh, dude.
Except I didn't just say that. And Living Waters is a great spot. I think that'd be a
Yeah.
cool spot to do it too.
For this month, I was actually thinking of doing it at that shop because I got some feedback of people saying like, well, you shouldn't do it in the morning. People can't come. And I was like, well, like,
But coffee.
but coffee, I love coffee. And so I'm thinking of doing like a cocktail hour type vibe,
Yeah, happy hour.
happy hour
Yeah.
type vibe.
But the counterpoint to the don't do it in the morning, people can't come. You do it in the evening, people can't come either. It's
Exactly.
Yeah, either end of the spectrum.
You're talking to musicians. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. And like all the guys or gals that I want to come to the hangout, like they're either on the road on the weekends or maybe they've got a day job that's like kind of scattered or they bartend at night. So it's like, well, mornings work.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I think a morning hang for musicians is totally clutch. I think you're brilliant for doing it. I think it's a fantastic
Thanks,
idea.
man.
More musicians need to start getting up earlier and seeing, sunlight.
Yeah. Huberman. Are you familiar with the Huberman Lab podcast?
No. What is that?
What's his position? But he's at Stanford. He's like a neuros.
He is
he
a neuroscientist.
Super
Okay.
smart guy that's made this incredible podcast that's centered around protocols and tactics for just healthier, optimizing
Cool.
your life. He talks a lot about optimizing sunlight and
Getting out
to bed
first when you want to be waking up.
coffee intake,
Go
all those
out,
things.
go outside at that time and get sunlight
Yes.
if that is possible.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
feel that.
it's a whole different thing if you're some sort of like you're on like graveyard shift or like doing
Yeah.
crazy shift work.
Working for Amazon.
Yeah. Or like,
Broadway drummers.
you're playing late night shifts at freaking on Broadway.
Oh my gosh.
But that's check it out, man. It's a really cool podcast. He like Dan said, he's
Yeah.
a super smart guy. He has a freakish amount of data just about
Sick.
anything he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'll give him a shameless plug. He's about to release a book his first book called Protocols.
Protocols.
It's basically like he's taking all the nuggets from each podcast into like, here are the protocols in
Yeah.
a book format. Brilliant. Super cool. I mean, he's super smart, but he makes everything's very like approachable for someone
Yeah.
that is not that smart.
Dude,
for everyday people.
That's what I need, man. I love that stuff where it's like try to make something better, more efficient. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. Well, it's super cool what you're doing, this whole community thing. So I think that kind of maybe ties into, I mean, I want to learn I don't really know your journey here, but I do know the little that I do know is that you basically moved here without knowing too many people or having a gig.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, as you said, through community, you've been able to kind of make a name for yourself and kind of network and be a working drummer.
Yeah, man. I moved here in fall of 2018, and had like a college buddy who lived here, who like had a room up for rent, but so I like moved in first chance that I could, and then just started to go to like Yep events, if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
No, yeah, I am.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, I am.
Started going to like any like mixer events, and quickly met the Lost Stars guys, and they kind of brought me into their community of the producers they were working with, their college buddies, and other artists. And yeah, those guys really helped me discover Nashville and like find that community and stuff. Yeah.
Where are you from? Let's kind of start there. Early years. How long have you been drumming? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I am from Pennsylvania, originally Harrisburg, the capital. Most of my family's in Philly now, but yeah, started drumming when I was like 10, school band type vibe, got the like practice pad and the xylophone, classic situation.
Nice, yeah. Like the bell kit.
Yeah,
thing.
the bell kit.
Yeah.
I think it may have been a pearl bell kit. I don't know.
Good chance. Yeah.
But
Wasn't a sonor bell kit. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
too soon, man. Too soon.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, started doing that. And then for some reason, my parents were like, hey, let's give him a drum set for Christmas. And I just like, I didn't really ask for stuff as a kid because like I have 4 older siblings and I'm like, I'm the youngest. Let me just like stay out of the picture.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that, do you think that's just your natural thing? Or were you treated a certain way by your siblings? You're like, I'm just going to chill until I get stuff.
Oh no. Like, I mean, they're awesome. I love them so much,
yeah.
but no, just, yeah, kind of throughout my life, I'd rather be in the background, behind the scenes, like in a supportive role. And so I think maybe that's why I became a drummer, because you get to like hide behind a drum kit
That's true.
and still be a part of it.
That's true.
But like, you know, you're kind of behind this fortress.
Do you happen to, just curious,
Yeah.
do you know what Enneagram is?
Dude. So
I'd be fascinated to know what you are.
my wife, Meg, is a therapist, and we have gone back and forth so many times on what she thinks I
No
am.
phone call's going to interrupt this podcast, God damn it.
Dude, I don't know, man. Could have been
That's my mom. I just threw my phone.
So I think I might be a 6, but
Okay.
for the longest time I thought I was like a 2-wing 1. I don't know, man. In unhealth, I challenge.
Okay.
I ask why a rule exists a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of all over the map on the scale of whatever that
Interesting.
is.
Yeah. But sorry.
Yeah.
I was just really curious when you said that.
Yeah.
Because that's the idea of being able to kind of go into the background, blend in, and support.
Yeah.
There's a certain personality type that really,
What number does that line up with?
man. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's my. I'm a 4. Or last time I took the test, I was a 4, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I like the idea, the whole be unique thing, but I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to be unique, and I wanted to also fit in at the same time, and that's a really weird place to be.
Yes. All the contradictions of like the Enneagram, when it hits real life, I'm like, I don't know what I am.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's a whole bunch of hogwash anyway.
Yeah. I know I'm an extroverted introvert though.
Oh, yes.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
I would say that I am. Yeah.
Because like this vibe, I feel like I thrive in small groups.
Yeah.
Couple dudes, just a couple friends hanging out.
Yeah.
But I definitely need time to recharge.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I bet you dislike small talk, don't you?
Ooh, good question. I can do it if that's where someone's at.
Yeah.
But I do like going, deep in conversation.
Yeah.
If it's there, if it's like the other person's down to like talk about real stuff,
Yeah.
I'm down too.
Because I'm 51E, 49I. So I'm
Wow.
real
Yeah.
balanced there. When I need to be alone, I need to be alone. And right now,
Me too, man.
I'll go, like I get charged being around people, and then I'm like, actually, hey, sorry, I need an hour right now. Go away.
Yeah, totally, man. But yeah, I guess like the early drumming stuff. Got a drum set for Christmas. Always had the family's music collections laying around.
What was that first kit?
Dude, the first kit, it was an Astro, like generic kit, kind of like the early 2000s version of a like MIJ kit, I guess. Just like really cheap.
Have we heard that brand before?
No.
Astro.
Astro.
Yeah.
That's
What was the finish?
Just piano black, just
Piano
like a
black,
plastic
yep.
wrap.
Nice.
But the toms were like, I swear it was like a 12, 13, 16. It was weird. You know, it's just very big drums.
Someone didn't package that box correctly.
Yeah.
but you were talking about your family's music collection. What were the notable
Yes.
items in that collection for you?
So earliest memories were the Beatles and then the Temptations.
Nice.
So like early classic rock and then Motown, the Philadelphia sound, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a cool mix.
Yeah. The Philadelphia sound. You're doing your state some justice.
Yeah,
by
dude.
Studying up. Nice.
The OJs, the Roots, like those guys have like so much. I know I spanned just like probably like 60 years right there, but they have so much more influence than I think people give them credit for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that music. That's what I always go back to. You know, all the drummers on like Motown records, I love. It's just the best.
Yeah.
I feel like so much stems from that, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
Love that music.
So first kit for Christmas, and you said you're already playing in school.
Yeah.
Do you recall, I mean, why drums though? When did that really start for you?
I think the earliest thing was like sitting in the back of my parents' car, and I just found myself like tapping along to like Beatles songs. And it was just like naturally kind of came to. And then in like third or fourth grade, when they like come into your class and be like, all right, pick an instrument. For whatever reason, it was going to be drums or saxophone. And so I remember taking that like slip of paper home to my mom, and I went back the next day picking drums. So I could have been like a cool sax guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like, well, pick what you're interested in.
And it was only between those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why it's like, I was never around a sax player before, but it was just like, oh, that seems cool.
It's
You know?
almost like they were trying to trick you because, like, yeah, the sax is arguably a very cool
Yeah.
instrument.
Do you want to play this thing where you get all sweaty and you have to wave sticks around, or do you want to play this really cool thing that's kind of going?
Yeah.
The
in?
1% chance that you could be Miles Davis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or be a drummer.
I'm sorry. The Miles Davis of saxophone. That's great. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, right.
But
Sorry, I should have used a
Yeah.
saxophone reference there. That just came to my mind.
who is the
stuff.
Miles Davis of sax?
Is it Coltrane?
Brother John Coltrane.
Coltrane?
Or
Yeah,
maybe, I mean, yeah, or I can
gotta
maybe,
be.
maybe Charlie Parker. I mean, it depends on what you
Yeah.
think of, like Miles.
Yeah.
Probably the most,
Yeah.
not the most technical guy, but a game changer. But that's maybe John. But
Yeah.
Charlie's the biggest monster. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Yeah. I love that. I get so distracted. I go on so many tangents.
so do we.
We were somewhere.
Tangent master.
Tangent master.
Yeah, okay, so picking the drums
Yes.
at that point instead of the saxophone.
Yeah.
And then you're in the public school system that you're taking lessons at that point as well?
Yeah, taking lessons and then changed schools in middle school. And around that time, I started playing in like church bands and
Is that a tough move?
like changing schools.
Yeah, well, especially, I mean, I know like in middle school
Yeah.
and high school, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
worst years of your life.
Oh,
But
for
I just
sure,
remember,
dude.
I mean, luckily I never had to move. I just remember all the
Yeah.
kids that did move, like they were always like the outliers.
Dude,
It's like, oh, they didn't
for
start
sure.
with us. You know, they just came in here Like a lot of them ended up being like cool hangs and friends, but like they were always still just different, you know?
Yeah.
Was that like that for you?
Yeah, totally. I went from public to like a private school.
Okay.
And for middle and high school. And like I found opportunities outside of school to like get into music and to play. But yeah, going from public to private kind of sucked because we like weren't allowed to have like a jazz band. Like I tried to start like, can we play like some standards or whatever? And the band teacher was like, hey, I really like jazz too, but the administration of the school won't allow like secular music.
Oh, man.
And it really sucked because I felt like I kind of got stinted or whatever.
Yeah, deprived.
And so around that time, I really dug into like making little garage bands with my buddies and listening to as much new music as I could find, listening to the radio a ton.
So in some ways, it sounds like a blessing for you.
Yeah.
Because it kind of forced you, like, you had this itch to discover the music that you weren't allowed to even experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I quit like school bands because it just felt like such a bummer coming from public school, and then went back to it because I was like, I should keep playing. But yeah, discovered so much music at that age that really like, I don't know, still like influences me today, you know, lots of variety and stuff.
Were those also the years that you started forming like original bands as well?
Yeah. Learning to do the garage band thing and like write songs, like jam on songs with friends. And we played like a battle of the bands thing, all those fun little things. But yeah.
You know, in my dumb little brain here, I was thinking, it's like, oh man, he started working in a DAW that early, huh? Okay. Wow,
Garage band.
That's crazy.
Dude, yeah. Does anyone say like I had a band in my garage anymore? Like I had a garage band.
No, you don't. You don't hear that. When you hear garage band now, it's for sure the DAW.
It's funny because I had that same thought. So we both have small little brains, but we're also in Nashville, surrounded by audio equipment every day. So it's like,
yeah. But I did find like these random like Walmart, like off-brand DAWs, like pretty young. There was some like, maybe it was like the precursor to like Fruit Loops, Fruity Loops.
Yeah, Fruity Loops.
Where you for like
Fruit
deep,
Loops, the
like
cereal.
not the cereal, but like the, like where you make beats and stuff. But yeah, I started messing around with like DAWs pretty young, and then eventually got a Mac when I graduated and messed around with GarageBand and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, and fast forward to kind of what you're up to now is in terms of the audio recording.
Yeah.
So that's where it started for you, right?
Yeah, pretty
Kind of
young.
tinkering and
And then my sister Annie and I, we had a Windows computer growing up, and there was this like, I don't know if you had this growing up too, like a cheap microphone that used to come with it, like on a little cable, and we would record like stupid little jingles.
I can picture that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like the best thing ever. And we'd like just do it for hours.
It was like a super thin mic. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. So dumb. But but now
it's a Windows thing, I guess.
Yeah. Did you grow up with like a Linux or a Mac or something?
I had a Mac when I was little.
Nate was privileged.
My dad was the president of the Mac Club.
What? I didn't know that.
It's an honor.
He was just a big
Freaking sick.
nerd.
Yeah.
It's a big nerd. Come here, Dad. I'm going to give you a noogie.
Nate's got some daddy issues.
My dad's awesome. He's a huge nerd just like me.
That's great.
But yeah, no, I had an old Mac. And
Nice.
I didn't get into any of that stuff until way later. Though.
Yeah.
The irony is now like it's all Macs now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Quick tangent, because I'm a fan of the show. There was a couple episodes ago where I think Joel was harping on you to get into Ableton.
Yeah.
Is it for the fans? Is there any update on that, or are you still like, no?
The update for me, and thank you.
I'm so glad you asked that. Yeah.
What a great question. First
Keeping
of all,
us in
thank
check.
you.
I love
Let's go,
it.
dude. I have some for you too.
Oh shit! Yeah. Please. Yeah.
The update for me is I'm in the middle of a couple of the most crazy projects that I've ever
No way.
been. So I have to put all of my eggs into that basket right now. But the moment, and I mean the moment I'm done, I literally I'm going to go, cool, done, and I'm purchasing Ableton, and I'm getting a crap load of plugins, and I'm gonna go all the way in.
Nice, dude.
So that's my update. All my guys
Yeah.
in the group that I'm doing this project, they're like, most of them do Ableton anyway. So that it's a really I'm like, well,
Yeah,
cool. You can show
plenty
me
of resources.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
endless.
Yeah.
You like just if it was just you, I would already be set. I've got like 50 people
And
who are all
just
like,
gonna
I'll teach you how to
plug,
mess around in Ableton.
Let's
Yeah.
give a shameless plug to Taylor and his new platform
Hey.
called Groove MPL.
Yes.
And he's got a ton of drummers. A lot of them we've had on the show, and it's all Ableton. Not just Ableton,
Yeah.
but music production lessons. That's what it stands for. But he's got a ton of great Ableton beginner courses up there.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
Go
I
check
heard
it out.
that in the.
Be less useless than me.
You're very useful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for validating me.
Yeah.
I baited you with that.
You're like,
I suck so
"Please,
much."
Please.
No, you're good. You're
I just
amazing.
love that. You're like, okay, a few episodes ago, you said you were going to learn Ableton. So have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, dude, perfect, dude. Put me in check,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Keep me accountable.
Any update on
Likewise,
that?
dude.
Yeah.
I'm nervous if you got anything for me, but we can.
Yeah. No, something
Just
will
wait till you tell me some fucking detail about your life that I get to. We'll get you in a couple months.
That's the problem. This is all recorded, so we can never escape the things that we say. Like, yeah, it's my goal, or I'm gonna get this done.
But the thing is, I'm not afraid of that. I'm just afraid of people going back and realizing what an absolute moron I am.
like, okay. Secondly, as a fan of the show, do you have any covers coming out?
Covers, like, drum covers.
Because I feel like I discovered like this thing a lot through like your covers.
Oh, very cool.
Your like drum.
Honestly, no.
Stuff.
But if I do, it's gonna be in this room.
Sick.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really planned, honestly.
Yeah.
I've done some few bigger projects that took like the gray box thing I was
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. That
Like
thing's
some of
dope.
those that took like a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, if I'm gonna do a project, I want it to be like 100%. I'm in on it, and it's gonna be not even like it has to be a big project like the Circuitman piece, but even
Yeah.
just a drum cover. I want to be like, okay, this is definitely the song I want to do for this reason. It's gonna look this way. I'm gonna post it in this month. Like it's got to be some. I want to have those things figured out usually.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are like me, but with projects and like personal projects, this month I've started like 3 or 4 different ideas of like 2 or 3 different YouTube videos, 2 different like Instagram posts, and I make progress on all of them, but I keep starting new things without finishing. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
suck with
let's
that.
go there. So I mean, you have a whole YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Talk about what that has been, and because you do a lot of your vlog.
Yeah.
Kind of go. You got some really cool stuff. I don't
thank
see a
you,
ton of
dude.
people doing that. But
I
kind of like a
appreciate
day in the
that.
life of being a professional drummer, whether it's on tour or whether it's building your home studio and
Yeah.
super cool stuff though.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I have this YouTube channel like that. I just try to capture whatever I'm doing lately. And then I also do like recording content, and then also just kind of some discussion videos. The one I'm making this week is tips on like how to network. My advice or like thoughts on that.
God, I need your help.
Dude, I need your help.
We're all here to help
There's
each other.
stuff you're good at that I'm definitely not good at.
We'll exchange.
Yeah,
Exchange.
dude, definitely.
When did the channel start? Let's go back to. Were you an
Yeah.
early YouTuber?
Dude, I remember when I had a YouTube channel before Google bought YouTube.
Whoa. So the answer is yes.
Yes. But I kind of restarted the channel last April of like making content that I was like proud of and like trying to polish it
Yeah,
and stuff.
more professional.
Yeah.
Your adult life.
Yeah.
Side tangent. Did you ever do any of the Rock Band Guitar Hero games?
Oh, dude,
Because that's how, like my YouTube channel started from those.
that's incredible.
Like my channel blew up from that.
Yeah.
But then similar to you, it's the same channel, which is kind of cool. So all the videos are still there, but I just changed it. My videos started to become more professional.
Yeah.
Drum covers, studios. It was like me as an adult.
Yeah. I still have like all my childhood videos like unlisted on the like private. And so I don't know. I have like a Chicago 25 or 6-4 cover
Nice.
that's like on private right now. I was probably like 12.
You're just fumbling through the whole song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun song, actually.
Yeah. But YouTube's been fun, man.
Yeah.
It's been a good way to kind of make opportunities for myself and keep me like doing the thing that I love. I don't know, if you're like me or not, but if I don't have a gig coming up, it's very easy to just like coast. So in this past like year or two, I've tried to like push myself to make content or make my own songs or just film something, practice recording, do something so I don't coast, which I like naturally very easily can do, but
What's the cover? I apologize, I forget the name of the track. Your most recent cover, you had a very unique snare sound.
Oh yeah.
What song was that?
So there's this tune called Kids Are Changing by Kid Leroy.
Okay, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And my thing with that on Instagram was I'm trying to get better at recording by making videos where I get as close to the sound of the record as I can.
Yeah. That's a cool challenge. A good starting place,
Yeah, it's kicking my butt for sure. Because I found myself with Instagram or YouTube of just, turning on the pre's, turning on the computer, hitting record, and just like there's no target or no like purpose in the video.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool too, just like throwing up videos of you're playing.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, if my goal is to, get more studio gigs, record for more people, I need to practice like recording and getting specific sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one I did was Cardinal by Casey Musgraves. And then second one, that Kid Leroy tune. I'm working on one right now. Do you guys know the band Half Alive?
No.
They're dope.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
Yeah. We're exchanging a lot of music. I love that. Half Alive. Their most recent album has these like two Muppet looking guys on it. Like two like puppets. But I swear they're a good band.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of music?
Pop.
Because my mind went to metal for some reason, but
Yeah. Just the heaviest gent breakdowns you've ever heard.
Whoa. Okay.
No, just kidding. It's like pop music, but the song Bleed It Out is what I'm trying to work on. Get like the snare tones, get some of the like production elements, and just like learn from practicing.
yeah,
Learning
through failing, right? Experimenting, because like,
Oh yeah.
and what's sort of your process to discover those sounds? Are you watching YouTube tutorials? Are you literally just like experimenting with the drums and the mic placements and different gear?
Kind of all the above.
Yeah.
I think first it's listening to the song a million times, and like throughout the process, I use in-ears, just like having a good set of speakers or like headphones or whatever to hear the range and like depth of the sounds helps. And then I just set up my drums, try to be aware of like, okay, what drum of mine can get closer to that sound? What is the attack like on the drum on the record? What's the tone like? And just, experimenting. Like the first one I did, I think I went through like 3 iterations of like a different snare drum, a different cymbal, just swapping stuff out or like completely detuning it.
Painstaking.
Yeah. And another one of my pet peeves is like constantly being faced with like you're trying to get better at something and it's like, oh, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Like you don't have the sound yet, or like your playing's not tight yet, and you just got to push through it. So I'm this week learning, getting better at that. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's literally how you're building that experience. And then, when those moments come and you have more clients coming in, or you're at another studio and the artist just says, I want it to sound like this.
Yeah.
It's like you've already been doing that for years.
For sure.
You've been doing that. I want it to sound like XYZ on your own.
Yeah.
That's going to just serve you so well.
Yeah. Trying to, man. But yeah, it's been a good challenge, and it keeps the like ideas for like posting content fresh, where it's like, I don't have to come up with the like main idea of like, okay, I'm going to play a groove that is like in this style, I can just, it's like homework. Like I just find the assignment and do my best. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of simplifies it for me. Makes it a little easier.
Yeah, totally.
Hey drummers, do you need a place to practice on actual drums? Drumbox has locations in Lafayette and Longmont, Colorado, and their newest location is right here in Nashville, Tennessee. You can book sessions online and get the space to yourself. Each Drumbox location is fully equipped with 2 kits, cymbals, hardware, and even sticks are provided. 30-minute, 1-hour, and 2-hour sessions are available at www.drumbox.space. Use the coupon code ANDP25 for 25% off your first session. The coupon code is valid at all 3 locations. Again, that's www.drumbox.space.
While we're on the topic of social media and content, I mean, we're in a new year here, 2025.
Yeah.
YouTube's been going through a lot of change, it seems. We've been going from the TikTok, assuming it doesn't get banned this year.
Yeah.
So, we've been just consumed with short form content and the virality of content and short attention spans. But it's almost like now we're hungry for that meaningful long form content. Where do you see YouTube and just in general, like how we consume and create content?
Man, I think the long form content thing is really valuable because it gives you time for the consumer to process a deeper, more meaningful topic or idea. And it's, I think, less about entertainment, even though it can be entertaining, and more about conveying an idea that has some depth to it. Like I stopped grinding, like trying to, go viral on Instagram sometime in like early 2024. Cause I was just like, man, this isn't the platform for me. I can post like cool things I'm doing, but I need long form like YouTube to get my message across, I guess. But yeah, I see a bunch of like local Nashville drummer guys, Aaron Apter, Brian Zach, and I'm forgetting a bunch. But yeah, they're crushing it on YouTube, and it's cool to see.
You've heard of Drum Supply, but you gotta see their shop. It's a drum shop experience like no other. They're packed with all the gear a working drummer needs, and so many parts, noise toys, and accessories. It's a toy store. Curated cymbals, kits, and snares. The hands-on percussion room is nuts, and their custom shop work is fast and affordable. Andy and the guys know their stuff, and they're ready to help. And the big news? They've just moved to an awesome new location near the corner of East Trinity Lane and Dickerson Pike. Still in East Nashville, just a couple miles from their old spot, the all-new Drum Supply is twice as big, featuring a dedicated cymbal room, a lesson space, and even more drum gear than ever. Go see the new Drum Supply shop for yourself. Now open 11 to 5 at 2211 Dickerson Pike and online at drumsupply.com.
So what kind of barbecue sauce do you like?
Speaking of which, this episode's brought to you by Kansas City Barbecue is the best.
Oh,
Hot take,
okay.
but the right take.
So tell me.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty
Why?
popular opinion.
Yeah.
Tell me why. What's the flavor profile like?
Flavor profile, you aren't going to taste the propane on a gas grill. You're going to taste the quality of the meat, the quality of the sauces. Yeah, man, it's all about quality.
Okay.
Yeah, smokiness, sweet. It's not mustard based.
Okay.
It's not vinegar based.
Does it ever get spicy?
Yeah, I think there's room for that.
Yeah.
So
I need it smoky,
yeah.
but I need a little spice.
Yeah. Are you a
doesn't-
Texas barbecue guy?
I think.
Are they the spicy ones? I don't know.
I haven't met a barbecue that I don't like. You know what I mean?
Fair.
But sauce-wise, if it's just sweet, it's a miss for me. If it doesn't have a little bit of smoke or spice, then it's for sure a miss.
Yeah.
I like that molasses type. That's whatever. Whoever's using that, whoever's doing that, you can go ahead and send me whatever barbecue sauce you want, and I will drink it on this show in front of Millions.
He's not joking. He's serious.
Hundreds of millions, yes. Well, I want to go back to.
I'm so ADHD. I'm
classic.
sorry.
No, we three of us are.
Yeah.
Or the two of you guys are.
Oh,
I'm perfectly normal.
That's the classic podcast. So I want to go back to what you said at minute 72. We were talking about like picking up a word that our guest says at a random point in an interview.
yeah.
Then like
And
randomly
knowing
just
the
going back to
exact
it.
second. Be like, yeah,
How funny would that
35
be?
minutes and 42 seconds in, you said the word phantasmic.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah.
But no, so I do want to go back to, in all seriousness, of the topic of mental health, and because we were talking about like when we don't have gigs and sort of being able to coast, which I mean we're it's slow season for many of us, for most of us in January here, the first few months here, and there's really no tours yet, or things are kind of getting decided behind the scenes, and I know that's something that you've dealt with as well. So what's your mindset's been, and how have you? What are some challenges that you've dealt with?
Yeah. Yeah, such an important thing to talk about. So thanks for bringing that up, dude. Some of the challenges like in the mental health world that I've dealt with are like, anxiety, depression, negative self-talk, self-criticism, like that kind of stuff. Self-worth, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I started going to therapy like in college, like on and off for, what would that be, like 7 years or something like that? No, 6 years. But yeah, it sucks when anxiety and depression like intermingles with like a creative thing that we're doing. Yeah, even this week I was trying to record a cover and just like getting bombarded with like negative self-talk of like, you're not lining up with the grid. Like this doesn't feel right. Your tones suck. Like all that shit, and so I've definitely faced all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
How did you deal with it this week?
ooh, dude, this week, there's this book that I'm reading called Art and Fear that my buddy Brennan recommended.
Write the notes.
Dude, I have it pulled up on
Art and Fear.
Art and Fear. Let me get the author name on there. Art and Fear by David Bayless and Ted Orland. Man, it kind of felt like a little miracle or whatever, the timing of this. I literally got done with being so frustrated with myself playing this cover. And then I get in the car, put on the audiobook, and the chapter is called Fears About Yourself. And oh man. So one of the major points was like, art is made by humans.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a point about like AI or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
truly, what AI does is not.
yeah.
It's objectively not art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like all the great works that we look up to in any media is made by a human.
Yeah.
And that human likely made so many things like songs or drum recordings that were so bad. They put in the time and made so much quantity, and then it eventually became quality. That was a big thing for me to just say like, okay, these guys that I'm looking up to, they've been recording drums, and that drummer performance of like my favorite song, up to that point, they've had like 2 or 3 of my lifetimes, like recording drums.
Right.
And I've been like seriously recording for 5 years, 4 years. So that helped. And then also, I'm trying to remember it on the spot. Yeah, just listen to that audiobook. It's so good. But art is made by humans, and good art doesn't equal perfect art.
Yes.
That hit me in the face.
Yeah.
That really got to me. And Yeah. So what I did for myself when I was feeling really low this week was give myself some grace, step away from the project, put it down. I used to sit down and try to record a cover for like hours and hours without taking a break. And that was a big change for me, was like knowing when to quit, when it's not feeling right, when it's not going well. Just put it down. Like come back to it tomorrow. Like an Instagram video or a YouTube video like isn't worth it ruining the rest of your day or like your week. Sure. But I've let that happen a million times. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you've just set aside the week for that video. And then I guess, you're like, well, I'm devoting this entire week to that thing, but that's usually not what making an Instagram video.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I feel like you get into these modes or you can. I don't really care about making content anymore. But when I did, I was like, well, think about all the, what should I do? What should I record? I'm like, nah, you can end up spending like 4 hours trying to get this thing just right. You're like, I'm not getting it right. I'm like, why am I trying to post this anyway?
Yes.
What is the deal with this? Yeah. Walking away. Yeah. That's already so good. Yeah.
Man, I feel like this is so relatable, and I appreciate you sharing all this. Good. I think for many of us feeling that, but especially with social media. Because it's an interesting thing, right? Because obviously the platforms are built that we post the finished product. We share the favorite memories and vacations with our families. I was just thinking while you were saying this, I wrote down shout out to Molly Rose. We had her on. Yeah. Freaking love you, Molly. Yeah. She recently posted, I think maybe this week, it was like an outtake from a drum cover or some video. Nice. And it's literally just like the raw outtake where she's like trying to learn to fill and she's dropping sticks or she's not doing it right. That's usually does really well because it hits us because we've all experienced that. Yeah. There's no such thing as like the perfect take really, or especially when it comes to posting videos and all that. And so it's very helpful to see that,
Well, I think also it's definitely compounded by the fact that we have crazy access to the people who are the best literally the best in the world at the thing. And then we're looking at that and going, well, why don't I sound like that? We're like, dog, they're the best on earth at that. Yeah. So calm down there. It's okay. It's okay.
And they didn't always sound like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. They've been, like you said, they've had my lifetime doing the thing that I've been doing now for 5 years. It's okay. It's okay that you're not there.
Yeah. And I think too, reframing some of the like social media stuff, like some of my favorite guys I follow, Dan Bailey, Aaron Sterling, Blair Cinta, like all these studio guys, putting in perspective, like, okay, instead of comparing myself, why don't I just admire like what they're making and then let that like fuel me?
That's such a healthy perspective to keep, man.
That's great. And just like celebrating what like you're doing, celebrating what you're doing like in the drum world instead of like, man, well, I'm not playing the same gigs you are and like I'm not playing with the same people you are. Yeah. It's like, no, everybody has their own lane. Yeah. I will be better off if I just celebrate other people's wins and like be inspired by that and like go as hard as I can in my own lane. You know,
beautifully said. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe the only time you should be like stop and consider it is if like you're like, no, for sure they're in my same lane and I want to figure that out what they're doing. Otherwise it's such a, I feel like it's deleterious to be trying to absorb too much from everything all at once. I don't know. Like it's distractible, and it's not when you're like that. You don't really accomplish as much. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Maybe it was on one of y'all's episodes, but the word paralysis or like getting paralyzed by these fears or anxieties when trying to make this art or this music that we're doing. Oh man, so much. So I've had to learn, I'm still learning how to try to set aside some of those fears, anxieties, and step away from the kit, take some time for myself, not be paralyzed and like be able to get back in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We were talking to Dan Kozlowski about building home studios, and this came up
Yeah.
because we were saying like, someone that like kind of what you're saying, like maybe admires other professional studio drummers and maybe looking at it as of like, why am I not getting these sounds, or why do I not have these clients come in? And he said he said it so beautifully. He's like, well, I may have started my studio 365 days before you did. So like from a data perspective, I'm 365 days ahead or on that journey before you. You know, so like you just have to like you're on that path as well.
Totally, dude.
But that's where the dangers of social media and comparisons is. It's pretty brutal. If you allowed that in. How have you sort of coped or dealt with less screen time?
Yeah, I'm not like great at it. I'm not perfect at it, but I did notice taking Instagram off my phone and only using it on my laptop to upload content really helped.
Yeah. I've never heard about that. Yeah.
So like,
that's cool.
I have like Facebook or whatever on my phone, but Instagram, I was just like doom scrolling so much on there. And like, I still want to have a presence on there and like interact with like cool musicians, share my own thing that I'm working on, be inspired by other musicians. But yeah, you can upload to Instagram from your laptop.
Yeah.
And
same with TikTok.
Yeah. And so that helped me minimize some distraction, that little step.
Yeah.
It just gets to be such a strange little habit. It's almost like a little tick. And it's like, like I'm not actually even enjoying this. It's more, it's more like I'm suffering if I don't do it, which is weird. Then I'm like, that's like an addiction. And I don't, I'm not all about that. I'm more about not being addicted to stuff. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't want to be chained down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that, dude.
What's going on, Nashville drummers? I know there's a lot of you that are eager to learn more about how you can use Ableton for playback on the stage. And the tricky part is there's not one central location that you can go to learn this topic. So over the past year, I've been working with drummers that you probably know on a website called Groove MPL. And one of the focuses is Ableton and how you can use it on the stage. So every month on this site, we have professional drummers diving into topics that are gonna help you use Ableton on the stage. We have people like MJ Milam breaking down how he does his walkout track for Lauren Watkins. We have the host of this podcast, Dan Ainspan, breaking down some of the basics. We got Timothy Burkhead showing how he plays on stage with Maggie Rose. So you can sign up today at groovempl.com with the discount code NDP for Nashville Drummers Podcast, and you're gonna get 50% off your first month. And I look forward to meeting you all.
All right, well, let's get to Nashville. So you moved here 2018.
Yes, moved here 2018.
You've been here a bit. Talk us through that move, why you moved here, and kind of what those first few years were like for you.
Yeah. So right before moving to Nashville, I was living in Virginia and I was working at a call center, and worst job ever. And I worked there for like exactly a year. And like 9 months into it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need a change. And this was right after college.
Yep.
So I didn't have enough confidence yet to like make a big move out of my like college town. Yeah. So I worked for a year at a call center to like make some money. And then I reached my breaking point. I was playing some gigs in the town, but I was like, okay, I want to actually do something with my life besides just like work at a call center. And so, I visited Nashville a couple times in college. I had a buddy who had a room open up. So moved down here, lived with him for 2 or 3 years, and coming to town, I just tried to get as many coffees as I could with people, tried to get good advice, listened to a lot of podcasts. I think probably just all kind of the normal, moving to Nashville stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had any like hacks.
And moving to any new city, right? Just like being a person, you want to meet people and be social, and especially in Nashville, to go out to writers' rounds and different events.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember, like, I went to a lot of writers' rounds. I went to some jams.
What jams were you going to?
Dude, there was one that this keyboardist, Blaylock.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he hosted.
That's the guy, man.
Yeah, dude. The one that I went to, it was like at his house or something.
The Super Jam.
Yeah.
Were you at the one that JD Beck came through?
No, I wish, man.
That was a fun one. Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah. That was a fun time.
Was that a while ago?
Yeah, that would have been like, I mean, it would have been, let's see.
Pre-podcast.
Yeah, definitely pre-podcast. It wouldn't have been long after you got here, actually.
Yeah.
It's before I was born.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was all a fever dream, guys.
Oh, good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were hanging with Josh, going to that jam. Cool.
Yeah. Dude, trying to sit in on that jam was the scariest thing.
A lot of beasts.
Can imagine.
Oh my gosh, man. Because also, man, I feel bad I'm forgetting his name, but one of the other keys guys in Dynamo.
Oh, Ryan.
Yeah. He was sitting in on that jam too. And I was like, I'd gone to like Dynamo shows and I'd gone to so many shows in town that I started to know who the players were.
Yeah.
And I just laid down this like stupid groove, like actually stupid. Like it wasn't like, oh man, that thing's so cool. And
I was like, no, this groove sucks.
I think, yeah, I think I was playing like a second line thing.
Yeah.
And the energy in the room from the previous jam just kind of went down because everyone like changes out instruments.
Yeah.
And like the previous one was this like tight, like 16th funk thing.
Yeah.
And then I like slow down the tempo and it's like gats, 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 gat, gat. And everyone was like, okay. And like started to lay in and I was like, darn it. Why did I pick this group?
Drums control the mood.
Yeah, man.
Always. Yeah.
Little do you know, there are people in there going, yes, thank God.
It's not like JD Beck thing. Yeah.
Which is nothing wrong with that. But dude, who doesn't love a really good second live? Like that's awesome. Yeah. If you can do it right and it feels dirty, you're like, oh yeah.
But yeah, I think the lesson from like that early moving to town was like trying and failing. It wasn't really a big fail, but like just trying something a little out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I met an artist there who eventually I recorded a song with, Trula. Shout out Trula. She's dope. Yeah. She went to that jam years later, recorded a track with her. And so, yeah, I don't know. I need to do more of that, of like taking little risks to like meet new musicians or challenge yourself.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier about like saying stuff on the show that we need to do.
Yeah.
I am always saying I need to go to more jams. And they're literally in my backyard.
Yeah.
The East Jam, East Side Jam is incredible.
Yeah.
Flamingo. There's probably a bunch of other ones now that I don't know of.
Yeah.
And every time I do go, I'm always so happy I did. Or I met, like you said, like a little risk.
Yeah.
And some of them can be also very intimidating from a musician standpoint.
For sure.
But then every time I've gone, I've met even just one, if it's one new person or 2-3 people, like it's always like, oh yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Why do I not do this every week?
Yeah. And I think early on in my like Nashville move was just, taking little steps out of my comfort zone of going to a show by myself and like trying to meet one of the band members and like awkwardly being like, hey man, I like your playing. What's your name? You know?
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. There's this guitar guy named Garrett Moshier.
He's awesome.
Killer player, right?
Yep.
Insane. He was playing at a jam, like a holiday. He put on this sick show. It was like Wolfpack holiday party. And it was a Yep event at Basement East before it got knocked down and rebuilt. Yeah. But yeah, I went to that knowing nobody, just seeing that it was an event in town and, just went to the show, tried to talk to somebody afterwards. And he's a buddy and our paths have crossed sometimes with Lost Stars, sometimes with like recording stuff or just, knowing a good guitar player to refer to somebody and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you mentioned Lost Stars. When did they come into the picture for you?
Dude, they came in. So I moved here in 2018. I auditioned for Lost Stars in January 2019. Okay.
And for those that maybe haven't heard of the group, can you maybe describe quickly the music and kind of what they're up to?
Yeah, they're like pop. They call themselves a pop and roll band. So it's like elements of pop, rock, like dance, stuff like that, electronic a little bit. But yeah, the cool thing with that story with auditioning for Lost Stars was I got the gig, to my understanding, because I could sing background vocals. And
that adds a lot to your resume when you can do that.
Yeah. And I'm not like some amazing singer.
But you can sing on pitch.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damien sent us like the vocal parts to learn. And this was like the first band I really sang in. Like I was always just like singing at home, singing on the piano or whatever, singing in the car. But yeah, learned the parts, and turns out like none of the other drummers really did.
Yep.
And so Damien was like, "Oh, dude, you actually learned the vocal parts.
That's
yeah,
yeah.
We want you on this gig."
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, it's never been so competitive. So
Yeah.
any of those things to set you apart, whether it's learning Ableton or having the SPD electronics component or singing.
Dude, that was the other thing early on. A little risk that I took was buying an SPD in 2019.
Little did you know, yeah.
Yeah, like when I moved to town, I knew the SPD thing was going to be important. And I had enough money in my bank for like 3 months of rent. And a third of that was like the SPD. And so I like threw away a month's rent to get an SPD. And that was another reason why like I got the Lost Stars gig. It was like, oh, dude, you can actually do the intricate electronic elements of our set. Yeah. So like you have the skill.
You can actually play how we chose to put these songs out.
Yeah.
You actually respected that and chose that. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess we do want to work with this person.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Details are important.
Details.
Yeah. And what a risk. And it paid off.
Dude, it did pay off. And they turned out to be great friends too. And we've been working together for like, 6 years this year?
Dang, man.
It's just the two of them, right? And
so Damien and Charlie are like the heart of the band, and I'm like a hired gun technically, but I've been with them for a long time. They're like brothers to me. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's been a cool experience with them, getting to see like an artist's development and like the songwriting process. And I'm a fan of theirs as well. So I get to hear all the songs before they come out and like, kind of research and develop some of the songs. It's like cool to be a part of that process too.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure.
And so they value your ability and creativity enough and friendship to kind of bring you in.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Yeah.
One of the songs that just came out live, we're trying to like come up with new like, not like bits, but like different ways we can approach the show. And on this new song, I'm going up to piano when he steps away from it and like playing and like singing the riff and stuff like that. So I love getting to switch around and like change instruments.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did that.
I don't get the opportunity to a lot.
Yeah.
This one Christmas tour I did, for one song, I got to step away from the kit and play a Moog key bass.
Yeah.
Sick.
And I felt like the coolest person ever.
You definitely were. Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely messed up a note.
Yeah.
But it's who hears the bass. Hot take.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
all the bass players now hate me. Yeah. No, I love bass. Quick hot take. I think bass players often have better time than drummers.
Whoa.
Have you noticed it?
I am inclined to, there's certain things that, because bass players think so much about where, like behind or in front of the beat they're playing, they think about that probably even more than drummers do.
Yeah.
Because that has such a, I think you might, in some ways, some domains, I think there are more bassists that have a certain set of rhythmic skills that are greater than your average drummer. So I'll agree with you.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I've had plenty of bassists that say like, I don't need click. I'm gonna listen to the drummer. Or they'll say, I'm really intently focusing on your kick pattern.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it. Like they're more granular on part of the drum set.
Yes.
Because when you're only playing a few notes, it has to be that exact rhythm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas like for us, like, we still want to play the right kick pattern, but like if we add an extra one, like we're playing so much other crap.
Yeah.
Where the kick isn't, it doesn't have to be exactly.
Yeah. Especially on Broadway. Like I don't play Broadway every week or like every day, but the times that I sit in on Broadway gigs throughout the year, like the random bass player I come across, we're grooving, and then like I, verse 2, like I maybe start to slow down and like we're not on click or something, but I hear that bass player just driving and is still on it, and I'm like, oh dude, thank you for keeping me accountable.
Yeah.
Like your time is so good.
That's awesome. Yeah, works both ways.
I kind of got my ass kicked on a gig, and it was by a bass player. It was a couple years ago.
Did he or she say something, or was it just more of like a vibe thing where it was like
it was not? I got knucks a couple times during the night, and then the rest of the time it was like, yo, dude, get better.
Wow.
And I'm like,
wow.
oh, okay. I'm like, oh, damn.
So verbal.
I had to go do some work.
I've been there too, man.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
Was that a cover gig? Was that a Broadway gig, or was that?
It was a cover gig.
Yeah.
Great. It was a great player. And he really there was a moment where I kind of had to have a come to Jesus.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was more solid at this thing. Then I'm like, and then I start watching more game footage, more like recording the set more. I'm like, oh, I thought that was in the pocket, and I totally was rushing that. Not a lot, but I was rushing it. I was like, it's right there. It sped up like 3 BPM, and that's not a lot, but it's enough.
Oh yeah. That's enough. Yeah,
That's enough. That was a big thing for my playing, is recording myself and sometimes looking at the grid in Logic. And ideally not to the point where
underrated right there.
Yeah.
Underrated. Doing that
to
visually examine, be like, this is objectively where the fucking thing is.
Yeah. And man, I'm still, if you guys have tips on how not to rush, tell me.
I do.
Like I'm trying to come up with like a practice routine of it's only like, seeing the grid. I don't want to drive myself crazy and be like, it must be perfect. But a lot of times it needs to be like on the grid.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure out ways to chill out and not rush everything.
Yeah.
What have you done, or what advice do you have?
I do. Well, after this thing happened, okay, all right, well, here we go. This is great. All right.
Dude, I'm so down.
After that happened, I got crazy about it. I immediately was like, okay, so I need to really dive into the gap click. I need to dive into.
Yes.
So that's one thing. I'm like, gap click all the way, offbeat click too. And then I started programming things in Logic. See, I don't mess around in Ableton.
Come on.
I can get around in Logic though.
Love
so
Logic.
it's not like I'm totally a beginner. I know how to mess around.
Yeah.
But I programmed in some kick, a double bass roll.
Whoa.
This is how weird it got, guys.
I love it.
And I slid the third out of every 5 notes.
Wow.
Just a little bit behind the beat.
Okay.
So I had to, and I played that, and I just super slow, and I played that as doubles. So I was like, I just did that for hours.
That's awesome.
And it started to make me, after I did that for like a week, I started being more aware of it on gigs. I'm like, oh, now I'm hearing you pulling that back. And it's not, a lot of times in these things, if you're really experienced on the instrument, sometimes it's just it's an attention thing. You may have the skills and the framework around it that you can pick up the thing quickly, but you have to bring your attention to it.
Yeah.
And that's, you got to build a few little connections here, and then bam, immediately.
Yeah.
Like literally probably a weekend, I was like, oh, this is a noticeable difference.
And that's since then, I should probably do that some more because
Dude,
that was
too.
such a good little exercise. But yeah, gap
That's
click,
awesome.
that one. And then finally, also practicing a lot now to set your click up to play the full subdivision. Like if you're playing 16ths, it's have it be in 16ths and practicing so that I'm on every single one perfectly. That was like, if you mix that and the gap click, going back and forth between those two, it kind of solved all the problems. I mean, so to speak. I'm still extremely flawed as a player. I'm far from a perfectly clean player, but those things definitely helped immensely.
That's awesome. I've done the gap click thing, but I need to do the every subdivision thing too. Mike Johnston talks about that a lot, and you're the second person that I've heard talk about like, well, put it on every subdivision.
Yes,
that's awesome. Yeah, I need to do that more.
Do you know who Rich Stitzel is?
No,
drummer, educator. I was just looking it up because you should check this out. It's called the Drum Mantra.
Oh yeah.
It's how do I explain it? It's basically a lot of permutations and warm up patterns. But he's got a really cool, almost like meditative underlying music bed to it.
Cool.
And it's like it's to the grid, but it's not really like a click. The click is just these sounds, and it's more musical than just a click. So it's peaceful and actually enjoyable to play to.
That's cool.
But I'll literally just close my eyes. And back to what you said about being relaxed, I think that's a big part of it, being comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll throw it on and just do basic right lefts and different rudiments and different patterns. And over time, I think I'm hopefully becoming just tighter,
Yeah. One lesson I learned this week too was like, I need to be practicing more and not coast on like what I've practiced in the past, but I need to be practicing even when I don't have something coming up. Yeah. Like a gig or, it's tough. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy to coast.
Do you have, to that end, like a warm up routine or just a routine that you do every day?
Dude, I love routine when I'm in it. When I'm 3 days in, 7 days in, I'm locked into that routine. Man, start of this year, especially coming out of the holiday season, my routines are so whack.
Yeah.
One thing that helps me is I have like a daily planner. Yeah. Writing out the things I want to accomplish and then putting them at a time in that day helps me have some routine. Having like a little thing like making coffee before I record or something just to like get me going. Yeah. This topic too, like I related so much with Christian's episode, everything he talked about, like motivation too and stuff and routine. But yeah, I'm still getting better at that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I have found now recently, because I've never really had like a routine.
Yeah.
I have allowed my, what do they call it? Like your monkey mind to just tell me what it is we're doing today. What is it? Well, I had this crazy idea. I'm like, I'm the idea guy. Like they don't stop.
Yeah.
But having a routine, having something that you can work on even just a little bit every day, forever. That's a really cool thing. And I'm realizing that the guys that I respect the most all have that.
Yes.
They all there's a certain thing that you only like when you're like the freaking samurai and you practice the certain sword swing 1,000 times a day for 20 years. So, like that swing is the most beautiful, like, you know what I mean? That's having that thing. I mess around with that, man. I would encourage you to do that, especially, if you feel like you're a distractible person, having something, just a 30-minute routine you can do every day. Like, God, it just feels so good. I'm like, sorry, I feel like that's
I appreciate
so improving
that.
my life that I love.
That's awesome.
I want everybody to do it.
Yeah.
Selfish?
Yeah.
No, not at all. What's the opposite of selfish?
I'm just such a jerk about wanting people to have like, great lives and stuff.
Oh no, you're great, man. You're great.
Yeah, that routine. I think back to mental health and depression and all that, especially when we don't have gigs. I think a routine can be even more important. Just like
Yes.
get out of bed, okay, I don't have a gig this week. Let me at least practice. Let me feel like I'm being productive. Let me move my body.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah, my wife and I started to get back into running again.
Oh, cool.
And we signed up for the half marathon here in town in April. So we have a deadline. We have a goal to make. And I feel way better in my body when I go for a run that day.
Yeah.
And another thing I learned about myself is if I get something done during the daylight, I just feel better. Like if I record and I don't push it off till like after sunset to like do stuff and save everything to the end of the day and then get frustrated because I'm out of time. But doing work during the daylight also helps me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems kind of basic, but it's helped me.
Again, if you check out Huberman Lab podcast, I think there's actual science behind that.
Oh, sick.
In fact, we are more productive in the morning, especially in the morning.
Yes, before lunchtime.
And actually before, he has all these protocols again of like, don't have coffee until like 90 minutes.
Oh, really?
So like, a lot of us are programmed, like you get up, I'm guilty of it, I'll get up and like immediately get coffee or get coffee on the way to work.
Yeah.
That's like my first half hour or an hour of waking. But if you can wait, it's supposed to be beneficial. Right? Have you heard that?
Absolutely. And it's been one of my great challenges in the last
There you go.
few weeks because for whatever ungodly reason, I can't stay asleep long enough. I'll go to bed at 3, wake up at 7:30, and that's not
cutting it. Yeah.
No, that ain't it. That ain't it. But I'm waking up and going, wow, I could really use some coffee. But I need to wait at least an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have some water with a little bit of sea salt as soon as you wake up.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you get the perfect Nashville kick drum tone? It starts with a Lowboy Leather Daddy bass drum beater. This leather-faced beater occupies the sonic space between felt and wood beaters. It's punchy enough to cut through the mix on those 4-on-the-floor barn burners with the warmth you need for slow ballads. Okay, but who plays a Leather Daddy? Garrett Goodwin from Carrie Underwood's band uses one. Lee Bryce drummer Donnie Marple plays a pair. Walk down Broadway any night of the week and you're going to hear one. In Nashville, you can test drive a Lowboy beater at Drumbox and grab one at Forks, Drum Supply, or Nelson's. Check out lowboybeaters.com to learn more.
You mentioned, obviously you're married and we don't have to go into that too much, but in terms of just balancing like home life and being a devoted partner and committed and managing just being a human to somebody else versus an independent drumming career. I mean, what that's been like?
Man, yeah, that's a great topic. Shout out to my wife, Meg. She's a great person.
We love you, Meg.
We love you, Meg. Great partner. Being a musician, being a freelancer, all that stuff. Communication, talking. One thing that's helped us is to like maintain a good relationship is talk about our calendar regularly. I try to tell my wife as soon as I know about a gig that's like concrete or like in the books, I let her know. And I have learned to make sure that I'm making time for her. And just that we're on the same page with schedules.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, are you looking for like advice or just like what I'm...
No, I'm just curious. There's no specific question or anything that I'm searching for besides the partner.
Or the listener.
Wow, that was sad.
Sorry,
if anybody heard that. I am single, so if anyone's hearing this. To the 80% male audience that's listening to this.
He's single. He plays the drums. He's got great hair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's organized. He's generous. Good with his hands.
And we'll stop it there. This episode brought to you by OkCupid. Oh, jeez.
I am a perfect communicator. I say nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I believe you wholeheartedly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, is she in music as well or in a different career?
Meg is a therapist.
Okay, you mentioned that, yeah.
Mental health therapist. Yeah. And I don't know, marriage is awesome. Having a partner is awesome. I've definitely, we both have relied on each other to like get through our careers, get through life. And I guess for whoever's listening, maybe like going through this stuff, talking to 20-year-old me or something. Like not, I don't know, like be patient with yourself to like find the person that's going to like jive with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like try to, be a good teammate.
Yeah.
But also find the person that's going to, work well with you and just talk, over communicate.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think especially for on our side of it, right? As a drummer, is like we're probably typically going to be the unstable one, and we need that support partner to really understand and be there for the lows and the highs.
Yeah.
Well, and what a good tip to talk about your schedules. Do you have a certain day every week where you kind of I don't know, I guess debrief, for lack of a better term? Like we have, so for us, like Wednesday night is date night.
Nice.
And like that's like we're hanging out. 5:30 comes around, and I don't touch drumsticks anymore.
Yep.
Like now it's date night, and we have a few things. Like we'll go through. We're going to talk about a few different things, and that's our routine. But that's the thing that has gotten me in trouble so often is the schedule thing, because I'll have gigs come up where I forgot to mention that too. I thought I said it.
I've done that a million times.
So do you have like a day of the week where you're like we always update each other here, or do you have check-ins throughout, or just whenever, as soon as you have that information?
Yeah, throughout the week, as soon as I know, and kind of feeling out like, okay, she just got off work. Do I really want to tell her that I have a wedding gig tomorrow night and I'm not going to get back till like 2 a.m. and I need her to like drop me off, and like knowing when to talk about stuff. Like, she's not ready to talk after work. She needs to chill, or like maybe I need a break after this gig and then I'm ready to talk about stuff. Those are lessons we've had to learn.
Yeah. My problem is I don't talk about it in the instant.
Yep.
That information is gone from my recall
Me too,
for
dude.
a while.
Yep.
How do you keep notes on your phone? You're like, I need to talk to her about this before I go to bed.
Yeah, we have a shared Google Calendar. And so today I put in, like the past couple of days I've been getting gig requests, just people being like, hey, are you free this day? And I just put it in on the calendar. So at least I know like she's going to check the calendar at some point today.
Yeah.
She'll see it. And then we'll talk about it.
As a hold. Like even before it's confirmed?
Yeah. If it's like, and penciled in, I'll still put it in there. And then, just that Google Calendar has saved a lot of anxiety, Yeah.
Any other drummy topics?
Drummy topics.
You sort of touched upon some of the drummers that you look up to, especially like when it comes to studio guys. Yeah. What about more from a playing perspective? Who are some of your favorites, or what kind of styles do you vibe with?
Dude, Ringo was the earliest, and then just listening to all the Motown guys growing up. I didn't know the names until like later, but then Levon Helm was a big one.
Yeah.
And him being a singing drummer, that like really stood out to me. I thought that was amazing. Early on too, Questlove.
These are the guys you're still like digesting now. Are there any new guys in the last few years, or I don't know, last 5-10 years, where you're like, I've started really obsessing about this person's playing, or has like really locked in for something for you?
Yeah. Nate Smith,
cool
drummer for sure. Yeah, he's always coming up.
I like that you have to say drummer at the end.
Yeah, because being in Nashville, the country guy. Another underrated drummer, Griffin Goldsmith of the band Dawes. So Dawes is my favorite band, and Griffin Goldsmith.
Which Daw?
It's Cubase. The one we all use.
I had to.
Yeah. No, I love that. Griffin Goldsmith is super cool. He studied with James Gadson out in LA. bit of a like child prodigy, but on the most recent record called Oh Brother, definitely a great drumming record. He's super melodic in his playing. He's definitely got a lot of those like signature fills where like he plays it and you know it's him. Like his touch, you know it's him. Just kind of some intricate stuff that he does. It's just like ear candy. It's like a hook in the song itself. That always stands out to me. I've been listening to him since high school. But yeah, Griffin Goldsmith. I feel like he never gets talked enough about, so I had to do my part and bring him up.
To be honest,
But yeah, other modern guys, Mark Juliana, for sure, dude.
The phrasing master.
Yeah, but in recent years, like I do love the like drum Olympics, like of the athletes on the drum set. You know, like Dennis Chambers, like all the crazy guys, Thomas Lang, all that. But in recent years, I'm more so obsessed with like sounds and tones. And so that's where like Sterling and Dan Bailey and numerous other people I'm forgetting come into picture, where I'm really inspired by, maybe it's because I'm doing recording, but I get more inspired by like a crazy snare sound than a crazy fill.
Right. Yeah.
Lately. Yeah. Good timing and good sounds is like what I obsess over, that I want to hear.
Yeah. Sounds like more of a mature appreciation, you know, as you grow. I mean, because, you know, as we're young and impressionable, like, of course, we're going to go to the crazy drummers that have insane chops and who are awesome. But as we get older, I feel like we start to admire more the feel and the groove and the subtleties of some of these incredible drummers still, but they're not the chop type. You know?
Yeah. I got a weird compliment one time in college, like this band I was playing in. The lead singer was like, dude, you're really good at playing slow songs, but you've got like room to improve on like the hype, like dance songs. And I think in my growing up on the drum set, I just, have gravitated more towards the simple, like groove stuff rather than like getting choppy. Cause I don't think I've had the ability to be choppy. So it's like, well, I can kind of play closer to what like Ringo is playing. So let me dive more into that.
I think the thing that people want us to underestimate about Ringo is, if I can even speak the language that we speak, is one, well, firstly, he was hitting so much harder than people realize. He was smacking the hell out of those drums.
Yep.
2, his timing was absolutely stellar. And 3, he made not just like quote unquote mature less is more decisions. He made unique, identifiable decision. Like, well, the intro to Come Together.
Yeah.
Like it's a
How could you come up with
thing.
that?
Right. I'm like, it's not just simple. Simple is part of the equation.
Yeah.
Sometimes digestible was the thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean simple. There are things you do like, well, that's not
fair word.
That wasn't low hanging fruit. It was actually pretty fucking weird, the decision that you made on this song.
And any drummer that's had to learn that song, the first thing is like, okay, what's this sticking?
Yeah.
Like, wait, hold on. Yeah.
How did he do this?
That's identity, man. That's why I'm with you. I love Ringo. Ringo's amazing.
The Ringo part that always comes to mind for me is In My Life. I think that's the one with just like the single hi-hat hit. I think it's In My Life. But yeah, man, all of his parts are so inspiring.
Yeah.
For one of my Instagram things, I'm planning on trying to get the drum tones of Drive My Car.
Oh, how cool.
Because it's just, like you said, he's hitting the crap out of that snare, making it sound like a piccolo. I don't know if it was. I kind of doubt it was a piccolo.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, but it sounds like one. And trying to get those tones, and his hi-hat feel is also something that must be noted.
Dude,
Identity, man. He has a thing, and he did the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Thin, but you fill my lungs. This is how it is when you trust too much. Trust too much. 'Cause when you hold me close,
Are we ready for closing questions here?
I mean, I guess so.
Before we do that, Nate, at 8:19 p.m., you said the word deleterious. What did you mean by that?
Well,
Also, what does that word mean?
That's what I'm asking.
But what did you mean using that? Yeah.
well, what did it mean to you to use that word?
You said it, and I looked at my watch.
Did you really?
8:19 p.m. I'm not even
Well,
joking.
I think I was thinking of that word because I had recently listened to another podcast, which featured Matthew Garska, and I guess his first drum teacher.
Yeah.
And he said deleterious 2 times in a row, and I started thinking about the word, and it couldn't leave my brain, and so it just came out. I was like, that is technically the right word for the thing that I was thinking. So
Here, I'm gonna look it
I
up.
decided to use it. Yeah.
Oh wait, it said not delirious. What? Yeah. Am I even spelling it right? Deleterious.
Fun fact, my first concert as a kid was to see a band called Delirious.
Really?
Hey, I want to
Whoa.
go deeper.
Yeah, did you grow up listening to them?
Dude.
Yeah.
Maybe I could run. Oh.
Come on, get it, dude. Yeah.
Bro, did you ever go to like Spirit West Coast or anything? Oh,
No, I grew up on the East.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, dumb question.
No.
I saw them at Spirit West Coast, and yeah, that was a moment for sure.
Dude.
Yeah, I love that song. Okay. Deleterious, causing harm or damage. It's an adjective, ladies and gentlemen.
From the Latin.
That's why I said it.
Language of origin?
Yeah. Use it in a sentence again.
Deleterii?
You know what? That's a great question. Greek.
Oh. Dude, also meant to say this. Love Guster. Did you see them at Live on the Green in like 2018, 2019?
Yes. Wait. 2019. Yes, I did. That was the year there, and then he went into the crowd.
I think so. Yeah.
And he does that now. He always goes with a super long mic. But I remember a security guard. He was like following him, and the guy kept walking away, and he goes, "You can't get away from me!" And I was like, I just saw them at the Ryman. They were doing the 20-year anniversary of Lost and Gone Forever, which is my favorite record. It's my favorite Guster record. They're one of my top probably 5 bands ever.
When I saw them at Live on the Green in Nashville, they had the best mix that I'd heard in town. It was insane.
They sound incredible.
And like it was mostly like acoustic. Like I didn't see any like triggering or like it just felt very real and natural, but it was so rich.
Yes.
They sounded incredible.
And to have that kind of mix, the drummer mostly plays congas, bongos.
It's a dope
djembe.
setup.
It's so cool.
Really cool.
There's no drum set?
There's now all of their new stuff has drum set on it, but the first 3, the first album actually does have a lot of drum set, but there's mostly congas. But it was like mainly congas, bongos for a while.
Cool.
Anyway.
It's a great shirt.
Dude, hey.
Play on the Virginia is for lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Guster.
Do you play a lot on Broadway?
I do.
I need to come see you sometime.
Do it.
Yeah. I also
Do it, man.
Now that I have your number.
And throw eggs at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play Schism.
Oh well, he would. I'm tempted with.
Everybody. That's the one that everybody. I'm gonna get in trouble. For saying this. Well, I guess I'm gonna say it anyway. That's the one where people show up and they're like, I know that you're really into Tool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate to break this to you, but no, I'm actually not.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. That's like, but you did like double bass and you like odd time signatures, right? Yeah.
Yep. Other bands.
Yeah. And that's not Tool hate.
Yeah.
I'm not hating.
Just not Tool.
I'm just not into it.
Yep.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we acknowledge that phase in the early 2000s of like, you're not a drummer unless you put a cover up of Toxicity or System of a Down or Tool on YouTube.
Acknowledged.
That was weird.
Yeah, acknowledged.
That was weird,
The
right?
amount of videos
Seriously,
of a 5-year-old playing Toxicity
Yeah,
I have seen in my lifetime it boggles the mind.
true.
And it's always by some lady who knows my parents or someone I used to work with. Look at this. They're playing Toxicity. Yep.
Damn, that's the 6th one today.
That is, I just can't believe that you're still sending me these.
Yeah.
There we go. PSA. Stop sending your drummer friends videos of children playing Toxicity.
Yep.
We don't want to see them. We never did. And we especially don't now. I like Toxicity. I love System of a Down.
Yep.
Don't send me. Everyone's going to send me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get it
about to be flooded. Yeah.
It's just
I'm gonna send you one then.
yeah,
that night. Yeah.
I'm asking for it.
deserve to
I've played that now. I've really enjoyed playing that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Okay, back to the studio. What's your favorite mic you own right now?
Ooh. So I just bought a Bayer Dynamic M201, which is, it's just, I'm going to use it on snare primarily. You can use it on toms. I haven't gotten to use it yet. So the mic that I've had the most experience with is the Mic Tech PM10 on snare drum.
Okay.
Pretty affordable. I think a little better than a 57 on snare drum. Good balance of attack and tone.
Cool. Right
Yeah.
on.
What's
what's
he got?
your favorite noodle?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay, open that up for the camera to see. Are there noodles in there still?
There are.
Did you
And
eat all the noodles?
They're probably pretty waterlogged from the sauce that I put on it an hour and a half ago.
It smells so good from here.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Tastes so good from.
No, get another bite, dude.
What's your favorite noodle?
Man, I knew you were going to ask this. I think you're taking the biggest bite. Let's go ramen. Let's just do a
there
big
we go.
category. Ramen.
Taki ramen. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite ramen shop in Nashville?
Ooh. Well, my favorite ramen to buy is Shin Ramen.
Good man. You know your shit.
Yeah.
My wife would be very proud of you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Korea. Love Korea. South Korea, excuse me. Yeah, Shin Ramen. I make the biggest political blunder on the podcast. That's awesome.
So which Korea do you like though? Because we might have a difference of opinion.
I love Korean food. That's probably one of my favorite. Yeah, Shin Ramen, but in town, dude. Otaku, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Black Dynasty is also awesome.
Okay.
Just pricey.
I've heard great things. I still haven't been to Black Dynasty, but I've heard many times that
Great.
it's
I've
fantastic.
been to both.
Yeah. Check out Deg Thai. Also love Deg Thai.
Deg.
Another
Deg-
favorite noodle.
Deg does hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite non-drumming hobby besides brewing coffee?
Oh, yeah. So you already know about coffee.
Yeah. What else are you into?
Dude, I'm into video games.
What are you playing?
Playing through Hogwarts Legacy right now.
Oh, is it sweet?
Dude, it's fun. It's so fun. The minute you get that broom to fly on and you're flying through the countryside, powerful.
Really?
The music is so good. You go into a broom race, if that's what you call it. The score, the orchestra is beautiful.
It couldn't
I need to get
be
that.
a functional.
Yeah.
Harry
What
Potter
console is
game.
that?
I have the Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it.
Probably available on all of them.
Yeah, on all of them. But yeah,
On an
love it.
unrelated note, what house are you?
Oh, dude. So naturally, I think I'm who I am as a person, I think I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But for this playthrough of the game, I chose Ravenclaw to get a bit of more experience and just try something different.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Yeah, adventurous spirit, exploration.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, dude.
Love it.
Really fun game. Yeah, video games for sure.
Right on.
Yeah. Trying to get into running.
Yeah.
I've also been into songwriting for most of my adult life, but non-music related video games.
Just because I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about
Tell me about it.
getting into running. but I find there's a pretty big barrier to entry for me on that because just one, I don't have a ton of time and I already get a lot of cardio from playing, but I do see the benefits from it. How long did it take you to get I know it's different for everyone, but get adjusted to like I'm running again multiple times. I'm assuming multiple times a week. And 2, have you seen any carryover benefits in your playing from it?
Yes. It takes me a while when I'm in the groove of running. I just feel better in my body. I think my breathing gets stronger. I notice in my playing when I'm not active in other areas in my life, like exercising and stuff, I hold my breath a lot, like going into a fill, coming out of a fill, and that adds to like rushing or whatever. So yeah, just getting better at breathing while playing. I think running helps with that.
I have such a bad habit of holding my breath.
Yes.
And I was thinking about running because of that exact reason. So that may have been the final push. We'll see.
Yeah, dude,
you're going to come back for an episode 2 and be like, hey, dude, so did you start running? Because you've already shown that
where's Ableton?
What the heck happened to that? You don't know anything about Ableton. And you got out of breath just walking in here. So I'm going to guess you haven't been running, huh?
That's amazing.
Where's that tattoo you said you were going to get?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's fair.
The best advice I got on like getting into running again was just focus on time instead of speed when you're starting. Like if you can get out there and like aim for running for like 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Can you do that? No? Like that's okay. Well, see if you can run for like 3 minutes straight and then walk the rest.
Yeah.
And then just build up incrementally. Was the best advice I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
It's okay to walk too.
Yeah.
Just
moving your body.
Give yourself time.
Valuable.
Walking is better than not walking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll do the last question that you typically ask, but give us the social plugs for your YouTube channel, Instagram, anything else?
Yeah.
Find you?
On YouTube, you can just search Aaron Chase Drums. On Instagram, Aaron Chase Drums. DM me there, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I love just having conversations around music, around life. Feel free to DM me and start a conversation.
Well, it's like we did today. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on, making time for us. It's super cool getting to know you more and your background, your journey. And
Yeah.
I'm excited for a healthy and fruitful year for you.
Yeah, thanks. And blessings to you guys as well. And just want to shout out like the community and scene that you guys have created over all these episodes. It's very valuable. I think the people that are doing the thing and accomplishing their goals are the ones that create a scene, create a community. And just love what you guys are doing. And want to thank you guys for doing it.
Appreciate that.
Dude, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nashville Drummers Podcast. If you liked it, please consider leaving us a review on the Apple Podcast app.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can help support this dream and keep the ball rolling for us. Believe it or not, it's not free or even necessarily cheap for us to make this thing go. To sign up, go to patreon.com/Nashville Drummers Podcast or click the link in our Instagram bio. All of your help is greatly appreciated.
Visit our website, NashvilleDrummersPodcast.com, where you can listen to all past episodes, learn more about myself and Nate, and buy all your favorite Nashville Drummers Podcast merch, including t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, hats, and drum heads. Connect with us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Nashville Drummers Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.